What, you were going to stay with us? I said, surprised. I didn't make a reservation for you. My mind went blank. We're on a family vacation that I didn't even want to go on, staying at a fancy hotel. My husband pretended not to notice her coldness toward me and walked away. We'll see you at checkout, Emily, he said, leaving me behind as they went into the luxurious hotel. My name is Emily. I turned 30 this year. I'm a stay-at-home mom living with my husband Spencer, my mother-in-law Kate, and our son, Sean, who turned 3 this year. Spencer and I met on a blind date 7 years ago and got married. We've had a peaceful life, with no big fights, and people always say we're a loving couple. 2 years after we got married, we had Sean. Spencer worked a lot, but he helped me with childcare. I had no complaints about him. Our family life was normal, but things started changing after Sean was born. 6 months ago, my father-in-law passed away, and Kate moved in with us. The last time I saw her was at our wedding. I didn't have the best impression of her when I first met her. She had been blunt and even questioned whether Spencer should marry me. Spencer worked hard to make her accept our marriage, but I never liked the way she looked at me. We eventually got her approval, but it still bothered me that she said those things. I was worried about how things would go when she moved in. I tried to stay positive and did my best to get along with her when she arrived with her things. I helped her unpack. She was kind to Sean, but as Spencer and I unpacked, she made some unnecessary comments. When she didn't like where I put something, she told me I must not have been educated properly. Even though I was upset by her tone, I moved things the way she wanted. Then, she watched TV instead of helping me. When I was busy with Sean and unpacking, she scolded me for not paying attention to him. I was overwhelmed, but I couldn't ask Spencer to help since he was resting after carrying heavy things. I finished the work with mixed feelings, trying to understand that she might be unsettled by the move. But her criticism didn't stop. Every day she found something to complain about. One morning, after I made breakfast for everyone, I was exhausted and tried to rest. She told me the house was messy and that I should clean instead of resting. She always criticized me and never helped out during the day. I felt mentally drained. I decided to talk to Spencer about her. He said, "She's probably struggling because Dad's gone. Don't be too hard on her." He didn't help me. Even though he knew how she treated me, he didn't step in. At night, I would lie in bed, tired and stressed, but my son Sean would cry, and I couldn't bring myself to get up. Kate would wake up, shake me, and yell, "How can you sleep while your son is crying? It's your job." I didn't want to make things worse, so I quietly got up, but I didn't get any rest that night. One day, Spencer was home, and I thought about what to make for lunch, but Kate took over and prepared food for everyone except me. I made lunch for Spencer and my grandson. "There's none for you, make your own," she said. I was shocked and realized that she was treating me poorly on purpose. I had been wondering if she was just tough on me to make me a better wife, but now I saw that she was really bullying me. I couldn't talk back to her, so I told my childhood friend about everything. She listened closely and told me, "That's definitely bullying. How are you holding up?" She was really concerned, and I finally broke down in tears. I had been holding in my frustration for so long. She promised to help me and said I was doing my best. "I'll figure something out," she said. We didn't talk long, but I felt better after our chat. My friend had a suggestion: I should record what Kate said every day. So, I bought a recorder and set it up while Kate was out. While cleaning later, I found a paper in her room. It was a personal loan agreement for $20,000. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, but I thought the paper might be useful, so I put it in my pocket. After a while, Kate came back, and Spencer arrived home just in time for dinner. We sat down at the table, and as usual, Kate started complaining. "Oh, by the way, my friend gave me a discount coupon for a one-night stay at a 5-star spa hotel," she said. The way she mentioned it made it clear she wanted to go. Spencer was excited about the idea, and even my son seemed happy. I wasn't thrilled at all, thinking it would probably be a terrible experience for me. "Well, since you're here and always working hard, you should come too," Kate added. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. After all the trouble she'd caused me, she was now inviting me. "I'll think about it," I said, though I wasn't sure if she meant it kindly. I didn't want to believe she was being cruel, so I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. She wanted to book everything for the next day. That night, I couldn't sleep, trying to decide what to do. I stayed on the sofa, thinking for hours. Sean wants to go too, but Mom won't watch him, and it's hard to take him by myself. "Please come with us," Spencer said. You don't help me when your mom treats me badly. I don't want to go, I replied. Spencer couldn't say anything in response. I didn't want to do anything nice for him when he ignored how his mom was treating me. He begged me to come, so I decided to give him a condition. Fine, but first, take a look at this. I showed him the IOU I had found. He was shocked. He couldn't believe his mom had a $20,000 debt. Can we help her pay this off? I can't just leave it like this, he asked because I managed our money. I don't want to help someone who treats me badly, I said. I understood he felt responsible as her son, but I couldn't accept it. Please, I really want you to help with both this and the trip, he pleaded. Only if you agree to my conditions, I replied. The first condition is that if Kate mistreats me or criticizes me too much, you must step in and stop her. The second is that I will write down a list of rules for her and post them all around the house. If she refuses to follow these, we'll have to ask her to leave. Spencer agreed to these conditions. We decided to wait until after the trip to start putting our plan into action. I asked my friend to put up the rules around the house while we were away. We agreed to keep things normal until the trip was over, and then we'd deal with everything. Spencer agreed, and I decided to go on the trip with them. The next day, I told Kate that I was coming along. I kept reminding myself to be patient just a little longer. On the day of the trip, Spencer carried everyone's bags, and we were about to leave the house. You don't need to carry the bags. Let Emily do it. Kate started with her usual behavior. Spencer looked at me apologetically. I didn't want to cause any trouble, so I carried the bags, but they were so heavy, and I had to take care of Sean too. I knew I wouldn't have any energy left to enjoy the trip. We traveled by train and then by car along a mountain road to the hotel. The hotel looked beautiful and luxurious. Sean was excited, running around exploring. Kate admired the decor and went to check us in. Afterward, I grabbed my bag to go to the room, but Kate's next words shocked me. Are you planning to stay with us? I only made a reservation for the three of us. I didn't know what she meant. It hit me, she had invited me just to carry the bags. She never planned for me to stay there with them. I asked, then where should I sleep? I don't know, and I don't care. Why don't you just camp out somewhere nearby? She said. She had invited me to the trip and then expected me to sleep outside. I was furious, and I almost yelled at her, but she and my family disappeared down the hall. I'll see you at checkout time, okay? She said as they left. I stood there in the hotel lobby for a while before leaving. I knew something was off, but I never imagined she'd force me to camp outside. I felt like crying. Spencer just sent me a text saying, I'm sorry, and I couldn't even bring myself to reply. Since it was past noon, I had lunch at a cafe and found a quiet field to relax. As soon as I got there, my friend called. How's the trip? I did what you asked, she said. I had given her a spare key and asked her to put up the rules. I told her what happened, and she was furious. She offered to come pick me up, but I declined. I didn't want to give Kate what she wanted by leaving, but I wasn't sure what she'd do next. After hanging up, I decided to contact a lawyer, just in case. I sent him the evidence, planning to sue Kate for emotional abuse. The lawyer said I could take action if I wanted to. I lay down on the grass, exhausted, with the beautiful view of the night sky, trying to relax. The next morning, I met up with Kate and my family just in time for checkout. Emily, did you sleep outside? You didn't even clean yourself up. You're filthy, Kate said. Spencer tried to stop her, but she quickly changed the topic. He must have told her it was too much to force me out. Kate bragged about how nice the hotel was. Sean's smile was the only thing that kept me going on the way back home. When we got home, Kate immediately shouted, "What is all this? Don't mess with me." She saw the rules posted all around the house. She must have read some of them because her face turned red with anger. Then Spencer showed her the IOU. Her face went from red to pale in shock. She tried to deny it, but when Spencer confronted her, we learned that she had been spending her late husband's life insurance money and borrowed more when it ran out. Spencer and I stuck to our plan. I can't have someone who has a debt living with us. I'm asking you to leave, and I have proof of how you've treated me, so I'll sue you, I said. I played the recording of Kate's behavior, and her face turned white. She begged us to let her stay, but I told her she could stay only if she followed the rules and stopped being aggressive. She agreed and apologized. I'm so sorry, please help me, I beg you, she pleaded. I was satisfied seeing her like this. I never thought I'd see her so humbled. But just as I thought it was over, I collapsed to the floor from the stress. Spencer helped me sit in a chair and then began yelling at Kate about the debt. He had clearly lost all respect for her. She must have never imagined her son would yell at her like this, and she frantically apologized. After everything was settled, Kate remained silent and spent the rest of the day staring at the sky. The atmosphere at home shifted dramatically the next day. I woke up early, as usual, and started preparing breakfast. It must have become a habit, or I just forgot, but Kate immediately made a nasty comment. "What's different is Spencer's attitude, Mom. We just talked about this yesterday." He spoke firmly, and she was left speechless, retreating to the sofa. I almost laughed, but I held it in and focused on making breakfast. Spencer had always felt guilty for not standing up to Kate, but I knew he was a kind person. He must have struggled with how to handle things, so I didn't blame him. I loved him, and I couldn't hate him for what he had done. He apologized to me, tears in his eyes. After that, he began to protect me, and Kate's attitude towards me improved every day. She still made small comments, but I no longer felt any malice from her. I hoped this new attitude would last. For the first time in a long while, I could breathe easy and maintain my peace of mind. We started paying off Kate's debt, $700 a month, and Spencer and I worked together to manage the payments. As Kate was too old to work, I took a part-time job and balanced it with taking care of my family. Kate helped by taking my son to and from daycare and was doing a good job. Spencer managed the finances because of Kate's bad habits, and slowly, things started to improve in our household. I had thought about divorce at times, especially when Kate was unbearable, but I couldn't bring myself to go through with it. If I had separated earlier, I would have avoided many painful moments, like the camping incident. Luckily, I found the IOU, which helped us rebuild our family. I'm also thankful for my friend, who supported me and listened when I needed someone. Without her, I might have broken down mentally. Now, looking back at all the struggles, I feel a sense of accomplishment. I worked hard to hold my family together, even when I was feeling down and lacked motivation. I made sure my son was well taken care of and that everyone had a decent life. While I may never fully forgive Kate, she is still my mother-in-law, and I try to treat her kindly. A few years have passed since then, and my son is now in preschool. We're almost done paying off the debts and even thinking of moving to a new house. Kate has started helping me a bit more, and my relationship with Spencer has improved. We're even considering having another child. Our family life is much more stable now, and I am content. I will continue to do my best for my family.